Hey everybody, welcome to the Keto Mom page. My name is Stephanie, and we're going to talk about, well, I'm going to say your mindset, but we talk about that every morning. We're going to talk about what you are depositing in your mindset today, or what are you withdrawing, depositing or withdrawing. So as you're tuning in, I hope you're having an amazing morning. I am having an amazing morning. I got up. I don't work out in the mornings. I work out in the afternoons. I am drinking my ketones. I read my Bible. I read my book. I was catching up on conversations. I feel like I'm a little late in my mind of when I want to do the live, but I was trying to catch up on questions. And so there were so many great questions this morning, so many things that people need support on. So I'm just hopping on. I hope you're having an amazing morning. I would love to know, where are you tuning in from this morning? And I always want to say, what are you thankful for? The reason I want to say that is because it helps you start thinking in a positive direction, right? So if you want to share one thing you're thankful for, awesome. As you're tuning in. How about this? How is your morning going so far? I know I lightly say, how is your morning going? But how is your morning really going? Did you get up? Are you owning your morning? Have you done all of the things you wanted to do? Or is your day kind of pushing you along and running you over? Because you can change it. You've just got to take a step back, take a breather, figure out what you need to do. All right, so are you owning your morning, or do you need to take it back and own it? Yes, I'm in Minnesota, Mary. It is cold. It is cold, although the sun is shining today. It's cold. All right. If you are following along in the book, we're in chapter 3 on page 55. If you are not, thank you for the stars, Elizabeth. The stars go to an organization. I've been sharing it on my stories. And so I'll make sure to share it again. I've put it in my Instagram of an orphanage and an organization that builds safe homes in the United States. So that's where the stars go. The stars equal money. I don't know, Facebook, all the things. It's helping them. All right, here's what we're going to talk about this morning. I have a question for you. Well, I want you to understand this too. Your brain is very much like a bank. Like a bank, you deposit your money in. Every day you make thought deposits in your mind bank. These thought deposits grow and become your memories. So when you settle down to think, or when you face a problem, in effect, you say to your memory bank, what do I really know about this situation? So think of your mind as a bank. And every day you're depositing, you're reading, you're watching a live, you're learning, you're depositing. And there's positive and negative deposits, right? Like there's things that'll help you grow. There's things that'll help you feel like when I'm having a bad day, I can go back to. And then you've also got things from your past life circumstances, like your memory bank. Your mind is a memory bank of memories, right? So when you feel a certain way, you're going to go to that memory, and it's either going to help you or hurt. It's going to encourage you or discourage you. So it says the teller is in your memory bank is tremendously reliable. All right. He never crosses you up. If you approach him and say, Mr. Teller, let me withdraw some thoughts I deposited in the past, proving I am inferior. I am not worthy. I am not. Your memory goes, oh, do you remember your 6th grade teacher? She said that you would never amount to anything. Hey, do you remember that last boss that you had that said you were worthless? So as soon as you go down this if you tell the teller one little thing, like, am I even worthy? Your memory bank goes, oh, no, do you remember? Do you remember? And then all of a sudden it goes boom, 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 which then makes you feel inferior, which then makes you feel like you can't do it, which then makes you go, I'm not worth it. It doesn't matter, right? Your teller is very reliable. So it's going to recall all the failures that you had, right? Recall. On the other hand, Mr. Teller, if your brain thinks positive things or like, can I actually do this? Am I worthy to lose this weight? Can I go to the gym? Is there something that like you really want? And if you're feeding your mind right, if you're paying attention to the things you're listening to, the people that you're watching, all of those things, if you're actually paying attention to this, Mr. Teller perfectly responds with, let's withdraw these positive thoughts that you've learned over time. That is the power of reading, listening to podcasts, learning from others. So think of your mind today as a banker, as a bank, and are you going to withdraw negative thoughts or withdraw positive thoughts? The way that you can withdraw positive thoughts is you're reading, you're working on your mindset, you're becoming aware. You're telling yourself no more living in the past, no more blame, shaming, and justifying anybody else. Those thoughts might pop up for a second, and then you say, I'm not that person. I'm not that circumstance. I know what to do, and I'm going to do it. So he says, here are 2 specific things to do to build confidence through effective management of your memory bank. Number 1, deposit only positive thoughts. So he just talks about how confident people, I don't want to read all of this because it's so much to read. If you have the book, awesome. If you don't have the read, I'm kind of skipping some stories. But he basically says, let's face it, everyone encounters plenty of unpleasant, embarrassing, and discouraging situations. And unsuccessful and successful people deal with situations differently, right? I'm sure you know. I'm sure you've got people in your life that you're like, I don't want to be like that. And people here, you're like, I'd love to be like that. And it could be just based on their attitude, how they live life, how they look at circumstances, right? He says so unpleasant people take things that other people say to them to heart. So are you one that somebody says something to you and all of a sudden it wrecks your entire day? I can't believe they said that. You dwell on it, you focus on it, it becomes who you are. He basically says unsuccessful people truly care what other people think. They take it to heart, they own it, even if it's not true, whereas successful people don't. Successful people don't give it another thought. Successful people specialize in putting positive thoughts back into their memory bank. Oh, you just said that to me. Here's what I've had to become really good at, because I get hate on here often. If you just tell yourself, like, I'm going to do this, and if you tell a couple people, it doesn't matter if you're on social media, if you're in a work environment, if you go to school, there are people out there that don't want you to succeed. What? Why? I was just talking to some friends about this. Why are there people out there that don't want you to be happy? Why are there people out there that just want to be crabby, right? They're clearly not reading. There are people that want to see you fail. And there are things, I was talking with my kids about this phrase the other day. You guys have heard this before. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. How many of you have said that phrase when you were young, or even as an adult? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. That's trash. That is not right. That is a lie. That is a lie. Sticks and stones can break your bones, and words hurt people very often because we take it upon ourselves to go, they said that, it must be true. Oh my God. Words have the power of life and death. You better watch what you're speaking over other people and yourself, but also stop taking all the words that people are saying to you, because guess what? It's only a reflection of themselves. The words that people are speaking over you or at you or about you reflect who they are, how they are feeling about themselves. They're probably sad, depressed, lonely, angry about something, and it's coming at you. It doesn't mean that's who you are. So all he's saying is an unsuccessful person in life is grabbing all of these words that other people are saying about them, projecting about them, declaring over them, and they're taking it upon themselves. Whereas somebody who is successful in any area of their life, whatever success means to you, right? And listen, I could easily have shut this page down years ago for people who are mean, rude, disrespectful, angry, And anytime I get somebody that messages me that's crabby with something that I've said or I've done, it would be easy for me to fight back. And honestly, what I've learned is this. Somewhere in their life, because they're yelling at me, projecting at me, angry at me, they don't like how I'm doing something, they are hurt, right? Hurt people hurt people. If you want better for your life, you have to understand who you are around, the people that you are giving your time to. It's not like you need to cut people out, but you might really have to change your sphere of influence, the people that you're around, the environment that you go to, so that you've got people that can build you up, people that can see your gifts and talents and speak it over you rather than going, you'll never amount to that. Why would you think that you could do that? Do you see the family that you came from? Why in the world do you think that you deserve that? You do deserve it. And there's people that will speak destruction over you, and you have to be able to hear it and then throw it to the side, right? That's what he's saying. Can you control your brain bank? Can you grab the positive thoughts when somebody says something negative to you and replace it with a positive thought? And that's why we read. That's why we listen to good podcasts. That's why we try to find like-minded people to grow around us, to give us encouragement and not discouragement. So he says, do this in this moment when you're alone. So sometime today, when you are alone, when you're in your car, when you're driving, when you're eating lunch, sometime when you're by yourself, I want you to recall a pleasant, positive experience. Put good thoughts into your memory bank. These boost your confidence. It gives you that I sure feel good feeling. It helps you and your body function correctly. So right now, you could be doing that. You could just sit there for 2 seconds and you could go, I am worthy. I can totally do this. You should be saying this stuff to yourself. Like, I want better. I'm going to do better. I believe in myself. I am strong. This is the power of an I am statement, right? Or affirmations. Do you tell yourself enough that you can do it? Sometimes right now you might be your only cheerleader. You're going to have to do it. If you want better for yourself, if you want success in any area of your life, you're going to have to tell yourself how great you are. Especially if you don't have somebody in your life doing it. You're going to have to be your own cheerleader. All right. So there was 2 things. He says you need to deposit positive thoughts. Number 2, withdraw only positive thoughts from your memory bank. It is a learned thing. He tells a ton of stories. I have to skip some pages. It takes time to catch the trash and put in the truth or to even believe it. We play this game with the girls. We did when they were little. I need to play it more, although it just comes out differently in our family. But we used to play this game called Truth or Trash. Every time we would hear something negative, either it was in a song, in a movie, it could be something that we were reading, it could be something that somebody said when we were just out in public, and we would go, that is trash. And we would point it out so that we could have an awareness of it, so that we didn't say it or do it or even receive it. Now, same thing with truth. When you are listening to music or reading books or you're in your work environment, you should not easily, if you just sit back and observe. Remember in the beginning of the book, he said you need to be an observer of people that have success and people that don't so that you know who to model. Same thing with your words. If you sit back, I bet you if you just sit in environments, you can easily pick out truth and trash. Somebody that has a growth mindset and somebody that has a trash mindset. And then you're going to have to learn to pick it out and throw it away or either grab it and hold on to it. You've got to be really good at sifting. You want to come say hi?
Oh, really good.
So, there's so many things. I'm not going to read all the stories. The book is great. It's filled with incredible stories. He says, I figured out some pretty basic things. I've discovered that so he says, oftentimes we look at certain people in our life and we think they're better than us. They've got better values, better upbringing. And so he told a long story about being in the military. He told a story about soldiers. He told a story about how in the end, he goes, there's no reason to fear people. There's no reason to fear what anybody says to you, because he goes, guess what? We are so much more alike than not. We are all human. We all have different gifts and talents and abilities, but he goes, in the end, we all are the same. And the same that we're human, you should never be afraid of what anybody says to you, or never be afraid of a person or their thoughts about what they have on you. Somebody else's thoughts should never control what you do in your life, ever. So he gives you, I'm going to go over 2 more things, and then I'm going to this chapter's long. All right, he says, here are 2 ways to put people into proper perspective. Number 1, get a balanced view of the other fellow. Get a balanced view of other people. Every human being, we all are important, right? But we are human. We all have faults. We all have gifts. Like, you should never elevate somebody above you to feel like you are not as good as them. Just have a balanced view of, like, we all are going through stuff. If somebody hurts you, they're going through something in their life. He told an incredible story of a lady who dealt with, she worked at a hotel. The man ripped her a new one. Like, he was rude and disrespectful. Good morning. And she handled it like a champ. Come here. And so he said, after he got checked into his hotel, good morning. Want to say good morning? Good morning. The lady handled it well. And after it was his turn to get checked into his room, he said, hey, I just want to let you know, like, you handled that man so well. You didn't take it upon yourself. He said he was going to get you fired, all of the things. And she said, he's not mad at me. This is about we really need to have a conversation about EQ and AQ. When somebody's mad at you, or like, let's say you're at work and they're angry. The lady in here said, he's not mad at me. He maybe said he wanted to get me fired, and he maybe said that it was my fault that he couldn't have X, Y, and Z. But in the end, excuse me, she goes, he's hurt. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know if they got up this morning and their kids yelled at them, or their spouse yelled at them, or they're having something in their life. Usually when somebody is projecting at you, it's something that's hurting them, right? So he's talking about, like, don't ever feel like somebody else's negative comments need to control your life, or that you need to even accept it at all. He says, just get a balance and a view of other people. Number 2, develop an understanding attitude. Oh, when somebody tells you can't do something, guess what? You must be having a bad day. I've told people on here before, when they send me rude messages, hurt people. I don't know what you're going through, and I'm super, super sorry. I don't agree with what you're telling me. I love to tell people, listen, I'm not forcing you to be here. You can for surely get off my page. And then it's interesting how people want to hurt others. Don't take the lies, the trash that people are speaking over you and accept them as reality. It's not. And you just have to, the more you read and the more you grow, you're going to have an understanding of who you are. Who are you? If you don't know, you should do some soul searching. You don't need to be who others have told you to be. You don't need to be anything that somebody else has projected on you. You don't even have to be who your parents told you that you needed to be. You need to figure out who you are. What do you love? What makes you happy? What is something deep down inside of you that you're like, I would love to do this. I've always longed to do this, but I never thought I could. That's what you need to go after. So, he says, remember these 2 short sentences next time someone declares war on you. He says, I want you to hold fire. The way to win in situations like this is to let other fellows blow his stack and then forget it. Basically, and I've learned this even as a parent, if I don't fight my teenagers, like let's be real. Teenagers obviously they've got hormones. I have learned one of the best pieces of advice I got as a parent was when your child decides to tell you what they think, or they're emotional that day, or they're crabby. And I would do this if I had a job outside of the home, even with people on here. If somebody decides to come at me, so let's say it's my daughter, I have learned to just do this. I'm not always great at it. I've grown a ton. And if you don't fight back the people in your life that are negative, disrespectful, angry, yelling, you're soon going to realize that they don't have any more ammo to go after you if you don't give them any more. If I just sit back and observe and I realize it's not about me, but it's something in them, most likely they will come back. Like my daughters always apologize if I don't fight back. It's not about me. The person that's yelling you, most likely it's not about you. Unless you did something wrong, then shape up, fix it, and move on your way, right? So anyways, I don't know. The book is great. If you are just following along here, awesome. I hope you got a little golden nugget. If you're reading the book, then you get to read the stories, and we'll continue on tomorrow. I think we're almost to chapter 4, so we'll finish chapter 3 tomorrow. And then chapter 4 is how to think big. So we'll finish chapter 3. We'll probably start chapter 4. I don't know. Do you guys like to tune in on the weekends? I don't do it on Sundays because we go to church early. Would you like lives to be on Saturdays as well? I usually do them during the week. And then I'm going to go over to Instagram here just very shortly, and I'm going to do a reel. I'm not going to go through this book on this page, but I'm going to give you one golden nugget in a reel form. My daughter taught on this yesterday. It's an incredible book. If you want one more golden nugget, I will send it out. I'll put it on the reels in just a couple, probably in an hour. And then I also will send it out in my text message. This is a great book as well. I love reading. I really hope that you're working on your mindset. It's so important because if you work on your mindset, it helps in all areas of your life. So with that, I hope you have an incredible day. I appreciate you for tuning in. As always, send me messages with any questions that you have. Otherwise, that's it. We'll talk to you later.